Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4 in the Return of the Revolution edition. So we are playing as the Soviet Union, trying to trigger the second civil war for Russia by not pursuing the Great Purge, as Stalin of course historically did, and thereby triggering another war with the Whites. Now it's mid of 1938 and there's been a bit of an unhistorical development, namely that Austria, instead of bowing to the German pressure over the Anschluss, did not join Germany but instead joined a triple alliance over here, the Rome Protocols, together with Italy of course and Hungary, and they are now in war with Germany because of course Germany attacked otherwise. So thinking a bit about this, I think it would make sense if we send more troops over there. So we got a couple of mountaineers over here, so let's get another group with maybe a decent general. Why not Konev? I think that's fine. Let's ask Hungary whether we can send them any volunteers. So Konev, here we are, 2 divisions out of 2. Let's try to send that. And then let's have a look again at Italy. They rejected volunteers last time because they have strategic reasons to be hostile to the Soviet Union. So yeah, they're not going to accept that, but at least we're going to get 2 more guys in. We do have 2 already, of course. We're doing pretty well supporting the Austrians against the advance of the Germans over here. But it's not entirely sufficient, I would say. I'm also a bit concerned about how the Italians are progressing here. They seem to be expanding themselves on the German line somewhat. You can see their organization, the green bars over there, are relatively low, so I'm a bit afraid whether they'll be able to hold the line. So let's maybe this can be a good advance, so let's maybe try to support it and see what comes out of that, and then that should be fine. Now there are a couple of decisions that we can take, but none of these are very useful right now. We could modify our government. We do have in fact a lot of political power saved up, so let's briefly have a look at what we could do. In terms of political advisor, captain of industry is not useful anymore because we are not building civilian factories. Infrastructure is not that important. Communist, revolutionary, fascist or democratic reform all are not that useful to us right now because in fact we don't want to drift anywhere politically. Partisans, non-core manpower, we don't have that many non-core provinces right now. And trade deals, again, not that very useful. So maybe a bit more along these designs really. I think we are not in a position to research any aircraft soon, so it's really the next tech would be 1994, so it's a bit pointless to get an aircraft designer, maybe a materiel designer. Motorization, and specifically motorized rocket artillery research, is something that I would very much like to see, so you know what, let's take that. And in terms of theorist, we might actually be choosing... Are we researching anything? Special forces? But we are not researching any land doctrine right now. No, we are not, so that might be something to consider. All of the other ones I don't think are that useful. We'll have to see. Chief of the Army experience gain, that's nice. But all in all, I'm afraid whether these things will come back to haunt us once we are actually entering the Civil War. So we are consciously making decisions that impede the Soviet Union a bit. So we might as well say we are we are in theory a little bit maybe sabotaging it, but I think that's fine. Also, that's one of the reasons why we're not training any personnel, even though we have a lot of manpower, but in the order of 6 million. So that's fine. It's of course a little bit of a double-edged sword, right? Because even though we don't have, even though not training anyone means we'll be training, we'll be facing fewer people in the Civil War, it also means Hungary has refused. That's too bad. It also means we should drop the speed down a little bit just to make sure that we have a good understanding of this battle going on. Now these guys could be joining, and that might somewhat restore parity. This organization here is really low. But you know what? Ours is too, so no, let's not do that. Let's simply defend over here, and be content with that. I think during just like in these mountain provinces, it's very hard to to really advance one way or another. And of course, the Germans are very strong, I would say. Much stronger than we are, in fact. So yeah, there we are. Yeah, our organization is dropping down a little bit, but we should win this fight, really. Especially the tanks are not that great. So I want to send this guy over, because this position really should not fall either. Whereas this guy really needs to regain some organization first. Okay, so Italy is trying to go for war against Yugoslavia, and Germany on the other hand, so in the Sudeten crisis. Sudeten country is basically this country, Sudetenland, basically where at least a proportion of ethnic Germans lived, and which also, if you look at the terrain very closely, is sort of the ring of mountains across the Czech Republic, or Czechoslovakia in this case. So, what do we have here? So everyone, okay, plots have failed. That's interesting. So instead of the historical scenario, which was Germany gaining the Sudetenland peacefully, quote unquote, it now seems that France and the UK have issued a bit more stern warnings. And that of course is very interesting. We must really keep an eye on what the national focuses will be. And there we go. War on Czechoslovakia. Let's see whether we can send you any volunteers. Yes, we can, and it's going to be 4 volunteers. So thank you very much. You guys need to assign 2 more divisions to Konev, and then Konev will be in a position to be sent over here. I would be really surprised if they didn't allow us in. It would be really stupid. There we go. So there they go, in fact, so that's very nice. Can we take you and get any good good bonuses here? So this is of course something new that was added in the recent patch. You can spend command power, it's called, on these various items. So we could get more planning speed, which is a bit futile because we're not making any progress anyway. Last stand looks a bit more promising. More defense, more entrenchment, less organization taken, more strength taken, strength damage taken, and war support reduction. Interesting. Cannot retreat. I think that's going to be an interesting choice. You know what? We'll take it. The organizational damage really should be very low. I mean, we are very low on organization, not so much really on strength, but on all other fronts, on all other organizational issues, it is very low. Let's keep an eye on what the Czechs are doing. Oh, they are collapsing very quickly. That's not good. Empire of Japan has declared war against China, Communist China that is, so let's have a look at that. Is China currently in war? No. Is Japan in war against anyone, really? Only against China. Only against Communist China, of course. Interesting. We'll have to see whether they'll actually be able to go there. Another defense over here, going very well. And interestingly enough, defeating a lot of tanks, so that's very nice for us because, again, as I said earlier, it's very likely that we'll be facing a very harsh reality after the Civil War in terms of the troops that we will have, and we'll start really, provided that we even win that one, we will really struggle to build up enough forces to really engage the Germans after that. So look at that. This is a mountain province, and our guys over here are currently attacking. There's only one division in here, and it would be sheltered from the rest of the Germans by this river, so it would be a really nice front to take and a really nice province to get. So I'm going to send both of my guys over here into that province. Support this attack. Come on, get in, get into the fight. 4%. There we go. they have a huge advantage in terms of the damage they do. So we are doing about 80, they're doing 3 times that much. But we do have more than that in terms of organization, and they're losing organization somewhat quickly, so we can hope that maybe this fight is going to be something that we win. The game thinks we are winning. Our organization is increasing all the time, so that's very nice to see. There we go. By the way, when are our volunteers gonna arrive? In about 4 days. But now the Germans reinforced by 1 division. But once again, once this one drops out, I think we're gonna be in a much better position. Because as you can see, this one is not attaining the same level of damage on us as the other one did. And it's dropping much more quickly, so there we go. Both of our divisions are over here. It's very nice to see. And the Austrians also recovered Salzburg, which is a forest province, so not quite as important, but still very nice to see. And I misread a bit about where the province ended, but nevertheless, that is a very good progress that we made here. And I think this is originally a German province, Oberbayern, so I think this is the first time that we actually advanced into German territory over here. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. Right. What's this territory? Salzburg? Oberbayern? Really? And this is Salzburg. Okay, so this might again be German. Over here, again, it seems like the Austrians are attacking, so I would like at least to take you to support this attack. It might be helpful to just get a couple of people in there, just really, but yeah, again, just look at these German divisions, man, they're so strong. So there we are, German, the divisions in Slovakia arrived. You are attacking over there, you're all around attacking, so let's keep that up. Here we are, these guys are in Prague. Interesting overall. Just look at that. Also look at this. I think this does belong to Germany, but we do see Polish divisions in Germany. Interesting. Nevertheless, all in all, yeah, you can see these are the hills and the forts that were really vital to the German to the Czech defense of the Czech Republic, or the Czechoslovakian Republic, I should say, of course. Yeah, these forts really, I mean, they so much reinforced that position that it was such a blow when it fell. Nevertheless, where would we position ourselves now? I think most viably in the south over here. I mean, it's not going to be a very exciting fight, but it leaves the possibility open to support the defense, and it would be really bad if there was a German push into this. So this is the most immediate threat that we would like to fight. So we are supporting this again. They're very close to collapsing actually. Just, yeah, there we go. And there we are. Now you can stay here though, and just support the defense of this province. German Austrians. Ooh, and of course, yes, they declared war on Czechoslovakia, and the Allies reacted, and here we are with France in the war as well. So that's an extremely interesting development, and one very likely to cause the collapse of Germany. So our series might go a bit different to what we originally expected. But you know what, I don't think that's a big issue. But it means we can push a bit more strongly than maybe we anticipated originally. Let's push into this, just attack by ourselves entirely. But I think it should be fine. There we go. Just make sure we got all the river, which I think is a very nice defensive line. And we are actually knocking on the doors of Munich. So here we are, first counterattack. But with the river defense, I think it should be holding off pretty nicely. Please stay over there. Where are you going? Okay, you're trying to balance between these two provinces, which I guess is fine. We are curing more manpower and such. We can have a look at these guys and at least formulate a plan notionally. to sort of attack this area, which means at least they'll be preparing to do that, and gaining some what's it called, plan preparation attack bonus. So that's nice. Our mountain divisions over here recovering a bit their strength. They need more equipment and such. Computing machine done, nice, because that allows us to research a bit more quickly. And again, we are a bit in this situation where we don't want to research stuff that advances our fighting power too much, because again, that would go both ways in the Civil War. Nevertheless, decryption is something that would fit in rather nicely. Naval tech we're not going to need. This is useful, both of these, but not something that I look at right now. Likewise, this interwar artillery is a really good and strong, very quick research, so I'm not going to do it. We do have the heavy tank. We are in fact producing some of those, so I think that's fine. We might want to consider the logistics company. We are researching more weapons, but those are not critical to our war effort. So I think what we are going to do, in fact, is get over here and do decryption. Right, you guys are fine. You guys are fine. We could of course send support to the French as well. I think the French are notionally communist, right? They are... Nope, sorry, wrong game. I was thinking about a game where they flipped to the communist side, like was a bit emphasized in the latest patch, that, you know, this political switching is a bit more prominent now than it was before. If we're feeling funny, we could try to launch an attack over here, try to cut off a couple of guys, but all in all I don't think that's barely worthwhile. You can see the Germans are pulling off a couple of troops. This front is stabilized a little bit. I think the Italians exhausted their planning bonus. Well, we could try to cut these guys off. I think that wouldn't be too bad, so... You know what? Let's delete this plan and tell you guys to get over here and draw an offensive line to over there. Just get over there and try to defend that. I think the Italian Austrians are fine defending this line behind the river and all the way up here into the mountains. Munich, of course, is also a great target. We shorten the line a little bit here, free up at least about 9 Allied divisions, or Southern divisions I should say, and that should be very nice. Still, 2 German divisions in the mountains is not something that I look forward to attacking. Infantry template 7, so yeah, you can see there are a lot of artillery divisions around there, so I don't really like these chances. At least try to get the max planning bonus there, and that should be alright. Oh, 3 civilian factories. Should take more care about that. And so let's build a couple more military ones. Did I pick military? Yes, I did. This looks fine. 50%, 50%. You know what? I don't think the Germans are going to be a large problem. But yeah, let's build them in the sort of hinterland nevertheless. That should be somewhat helpful. Do we want to go this far? I don't think so. Moscow. Yeah, I think I would rather pull it back a little bit. Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, these are a lot of things. Insufficient resources though, so a lot of rubber being treated away now. I think that means we're producing slightly too many planes now. Yes, indeed it does. But I mean, our planes are decent. Heavy tanks though do not need any additional material, so could produce a little more of those instead. Instead of, you know, buying 8 more rubber or something for this amount of whoop. Look at that. Look at that. So there's another fun fact with the German the Republic of Germany, so Konrad Adenauer, the Democratic Alliance, being pushed into the Allies. Not sure how they separated, but apparently they did, and apparently we are now facing a situation where there's a democratic Germany fighting non-democratic Germany as well, which is certainly very interesting. And you guys are attacking into that, so let's try to push them around over here, and you guys, I guess, can form up over here. No, on me, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be this front, and you're supposed to push into these provinces. There we go. There you go. Yeah, we go. Civil War in Germany. A group of Wehrmacht officers have boasted and just taken over. That's incredibly funny, actually. So Second Vienna Award. I don't think you're gonna make that, my friend. Although you're trying to go to alliance with Italy, so we'll have to see about that. Come on, get over there. You're not supposed to be in that country. Exile divisions, where are you? You should be returning over to Austria, where you're non-exiled again. Yeah, there we go. And just try to fulfill your plan. There we go. Yeah, just smash them. Germany's really falling apart now. Obviously it is. And you know what? You guys can also just start your plan. Very interesting. Who would have thought Germany to collapse so quickly on its own weight? Yeah, but this is going to collapse very soon. 6th Panzer Division. Just give up. Come on, Heinrichi. Okay, nice. Good. All of this has been cleared up. So you guys are fine, and I think... Really? This belongs to German Republic? Okay, so let's briefly formulate plans, and then I think we'll call it for a day, to close for a day, because this has been a bit crazy. And we'll have to see about how we go on next time. I'm afraid the premise of my game is a bit broken, but you know what? Maybe it makes more fun to play at least the Russian Civil War under that circumstances, so yeah, very nice. These two divisions down here, I'm not sure we even have a front with Germany anymore. And I'm not sure I want to support the non-alliance / semi-fascist anymore. So, can I not actually pull back my volunteers? By the way, what was that? Just... It's an planes. Okay, I didn't think I ever saw that, but maybe I was just blind. So yeah, entirely viable. Still, you know what? We are gonna send you off to Vienna for a nice victory parade, and that's gonna be that. So, thank you guys for watching, and you can join me next time for our unintended revolution. We thought it would be the return of the Russian Revolution. It seems to be a German revolution. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.